And here we are live. Hey, everybody.
Hi.
Thanks for tuning in today. I know there's a lot of information going around about, well, first off, let me make sure I see our live going.
I don't see it. Oh, yeah, I do.
Yeah, okay, we're good. So thanks for everybody that's watching so far. I'm going to get to my comment section so I can see if anybody's popping on. But feel free we'll answer questions as best we can throughout this discussion. And keep in mind there's a little bit of about a 10-second lag. So sometimes we're not talking about the same thing. But welcome, everybody. We're going to talk about what's going on in the market today because that affects everybody, whether you own a home or you're thinking, well, everybody usually, well, not everybody, but most people want to own a home at some point. So that is something that's going to be affecting everyone. And I wanted to thank so much you guys for coming in and joining me today remotely. We have Victoria King from the Fauquier Bank joining, as well as Marty Watson with Potomac Title Group Services, and Laura Finks, who's a local appraiser. And Laura, what's your do you have a company name that you want to do shout out for?
Yeah, I'm Warrington Appraisal Group.
So I can't believe I've known you for all this time and we're like known you so well and done so much business with you, but I'm never the one that has to order the appraisals, so I wasn't thinking about that. So anyways, welcome. Thanks so much for joining. I'm going to do a quick, hey, Tora, thanks for tuning in. I'm going to do a quick thing where we each go around and kind of do a check-in on what we're seeing in the market currently. Just a quick couple minutes, and we'll start with Vicki.
Hi, Victoria King, the Fauquier Bank. We are an equal housing lender. NMLS is 314753. Basically, I'm seeing a little slowdown in refi purchase business. We're still kind of reeling off of what happened, a few weeks ago, but it's still an opportunity. I can't discuss what rates are at or loan programs, but I can say, contact me, talk to me about the options. There's still some great options out there if you're looking to do something, purchase or refinance.
So you're seeing it slow down a little bit. Now, what about...
in comparison to what it was a few weeks ago where I was working till midnight every night, that sort of thing.
Right. But you also were dealing with the refinances too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And that went crazy when the rates dropped.
Oh, for 2 days, it was insane. Yeah.
Now, what about you, Marty? What are you seeing?
Well, currently we are still seeing like a major boom because we're always 30 days behind everybody, right? So we're finishing out everything that was locked in already. We still do have new stuff coming in, really at record rates because all of those people probably already locked in before everything went haywire. So I still am staying up till 2 in the morning. I told everyone yesterday I would sleep next year.
Right.
But, I do see a slowdown from the real estate side of things as far as buyers. We have had a couple buyers back out of deals because they're worried about what the market's going to do.
Right.
So, I think there's just uncertainty, but at the same time, people are trying to finish out what they started because the rates were so good that, and we have a lot of creative ways, which we can discuss later on getting settlements done virtually so that everyone's safe.
Cool. What about you, Laura?
I am actually still quite busy trying to just finish up all what the refi boom was doing before COVID hit us. However, at this point, I think most appraisers are not going into homes right now with all the virus situation, but we are still doing exterior products and drive-by products for lenders. I'm thinking things are probably going to start slowing down a little bit. I'm using historical data too to value houses. So now I'm actually putting some verbiage in my reports about COVID and about how values may change.
Well, that's good to know. Everybody's wondering. And I think we're, like everyone said, I think we're kind of seeing the things kind of taper off. Not completely, obviously, but slowing down for what this time of year what we would normally see. And I had some slides that I wanted to show people, and I'll be putting them up in a second, and we can kind of just like chat about those. But I think that this is the stuff that I know as a consumer, this is what I would really want to be seeing at this point in time. Like I want to see the cold hard facts and what's actually going on right now in Bright. And Bright's a great source of data for it's the real estate multiple listing service that around here that people use that covers all of like the Mid-Atlantic region. So the first two slides are the whole entire region, and then I'm going to break it down to the Virginia stuff. So here's the first one. Hang on, let me see if I can make us look any different in our view so that you can see it better. I don't know. We'll see here. I'll play with it. But here it's the COVID-19 market trends, and they're coming out with reports every week now to keep people updated, which is normally not like that. So here's the next slide. That's the overview that came out, and this one includes all the states. So I can't remember what was in there, but it's New Jersey, Delaware, other things. So this one I don't feel is as accurate, obviously, as where we are. But on a week over week basis, however, it says the new things are slowing down from that. So here we get into Virginia itself. Hang on a second. So here's one for Virginia itself, first slide. All right, hang on. Why isn't it showing? There we go. Daily number of new active listings being added to the market for Virginia. So the orange is this year, and 2019 is last year. So, I mean, it's not greatly different, and in some points, in some points on this graph, it was busier this year.
Yeah.
So that's the new active listings being added. Then we've got, and right now, well, not right now. It's trailing, but the latest stats in there they're kind of neck and neck. Here's the daily number of listings that are being removed from the market for Virginia. And again, keep in mind that this is all of Virginia. There isn't a breakdown for just Northern Virginia. And all these stats are based off of, what the agents are doing in the system, in the MLS system. So we've got, they're starting, you can see at the end, there's more being removed. And there were a lot being removed right around March, at the end of March. Here's the next one. It's the daily number of new active under contract listings being added to the market for Virginia. So a little bit higher. I mean, they're not so far off.
No.
Last year. And we'll probably see it change in the coming weeks since we're trailing the market. But I mean, I'm actually kind of surprised. Pleasantly surprised that it's, with everything going on, people still have to move. So here we go on another one. This is just the pending listings. So last year was a lot higher at this point in time. And then we got two more. Stick with us here. And then we've got the daily number of closed listings. So even this year, again, neck and neck, and at some points higher this year. And one more. And then these are the showings. These are the showings, and there's a lot less showings. But, people are doing a lot of other things virtually and stuff like that. So I'm going to go ahead and remove these from the screen. And so is anybody, I'm not really too surprised Anybody else feel like that's about what they would have expected to see?
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all. I think a lot of people in like January, because I feel like the spring market started in January kind of for us. And we were so busy, and a lot of sellers were still waiting because we were so low inventory in January. They were waiting till the spring to put on the market because they were thinking they could get top dollar.
Right.
And now, of course, COVID put a kibosh on that, which is awful for everybody.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised that it is neck and neck. It's, we are resilient here. We're in our little bubble here in Northern Virginia.
Yeah.
I think everybody's starting to get a little more creative, especially with showing houses, how we do settlements. How everything, a lot of stuff can be done online. I mean, I feel like things are picking up a little bit more because of that, and everybody's figuring it out. Like before, you had this routine, and now you've got to kind of rearrange things. So,
and I think it's going to change how we do business. I think going forward, I think
yeah.
Incorporate a lot of these things moving forward, which is, I think, a great thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially for Laura. We're going to drive right by.
Well, business has been different when I don't get to go inside the houses. So we are like doing some products where the owners actually will send me photos.
We need you to be louder, Laura.
Sorry. The owners will either send photos or do videos for me, and I can incorporate that. So
I was going to ask you if you could do that. So if people, because here's one thing with appraisals, we're seeing some people are saying we did all this stuff interiorly to our homes that could add value, but they're not putting that in there because they can't go inside. And I was thinking, well, maybe you could take your own pictures or video. And I was going to ask you that. So that's something that is acceptable?
Well, I guess it depends on each lender. Like I will call my borrowers and ask them what kind of updates and things they've done. Of course, somebody could always go run and take a picture of their neighbor's kitchen, I guess.
I was going to say that, but I was trying to think about it.
I know. It's kind of a tough area, but we go off of the appraisal that you do. So
Right.
if it's something that you're accepting, I think we could accept, because you're the one who's coming up with the value, and that's what we lend off of, your value.
Right. And, generally now I put a disclaimer in there just to kind of, that I'm assuming all the data is true and factual that I'm getting from third party sources and things like that, things that I might not actually be putting my eyes on just in case. So,
Yeah. Great.
Thanks for tuning in from. Yeah, and we were going to talk to you about, let's get into the forbearance stuff real quick, Vicki, and then we're going to talk a little bit about like what the real estate market is doing to adapt to these times in terms of showings and closings and things like that. So, Vicki, I don't know. Did you have a chance to call the credit bureau?
Okay, so here's what my research. Now, this isn't necessarily based off of what my bank will do. So I want to let you know that this is my research. This is what I found out on my own. If you do bank with us and you are asking for that, I suggest that you basically call your lender. No matter, if you're looking to take advantage of the forbearance, call your lender. There's different roles for each one. I do want to reiterate that a forbearance is not forgiveness. It will, depending on how you set it up with your mortgage company, it will have to be paid back at some point. So is that something, that you really have to do, then keep that in mind and talk to your mortgage company. Basically, the lenders are not supposed to report forborne payments to the credit bureaus. So during this time, if you do a forbearance, make sure everything's in writing and that your mortgage company understands that they can't report these non-payments. So continue to make your payments until that's all in writing, or they will count it as a 30-day late and you will get hit on your credit report. So that I did find out from the credit bureaus.
Yeah, I know we talked about that the other day. So, and
typically, from what I gather, payments that total more than 20% of your gross monthly income is how you may qualify. So not everybody may qualify for this. I mean, it depends on the hardship that you're going through. All those factors are factored in when you decide to do this.
Right. Any other parting words on forbearances or anything like that from anybody else?
Well, I did research too personally, and what I've heard is that most lenders, and every lender is different, like Vicki said, but they're offering 3 different options. Either you can, basically put the principal, put 3 months of payments on the end of your mortgage as like the principal balance, like they remove those 3 payments and put it on the end of your loan. Or you can just stall your mortgage payments, and then all of a sudden when that stall is over, then you can pay a lump sum. Or you can actually modify your mortgage like we traditionally did before.
So sorry to interrupt you, but Laura dropped off. So if Laura, if you can hear us, feel free to log back in.
So they can also do a traditional modification where if their income is affected, they can call their mortgage company and create a longer forbearance or, program with their lender, like even maybe get a year off forbearance or something like that, if they do a traditional modification that's filed and approved by their lender.
Now, I will say, I don't know many mortgage companies that would do added on to the end, because that really messes up the amortization schedule. But yeah, I mean, certain lenders will do certain things.
Yeah.
They get to make the rules.
Yeah. Another friend of mine told me that that's what she was able to do with hers. So, I mean, I know it's not just a myth.
Yeah. But the hardest part, if you do a forbearance, you're running into the fact of after 3 months is up, you could owe all 3 months payments right then and there. And that's going to be really difficult for some. Yeah, that's why it's important to talk to your lender, because maybe that's going to put you further back than trying to come up with the money monthly. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Well, I from real estate standpoint, wanted to just kind of bring up what we're doing on our end to keep safe and healthy. And that is, there's Bright has added a field for virtual open houses now. And a lot of people are doing a lot more virtual showings. And it's funny because I think about my real estate career. I've been in this for 20 years, and there's been a couple of times that people bought houses sight unseen. And people back then thought it was crazy, but it's happening a lot now.
Yeah.
I'm seeing that happen a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing a lot of contingencies being waived. Because even though, the market might be slowing down a little or changing, the inventory was already low. So now it's even lower. So there's people that are still, people out there looking for a house. It's still not easy.
I still have buyers. Yeah. I still have buyers willing to go look at homes, or, however it might get set up. I mean, they want to buy. I mean, there's still people out there. I think we should push forward. And obviously in the safest way possible, but with us coming up with different ways to do things. I know I can take loan applications and not even meet somebody with, scan and email. And, I've even done live Zoom calls with some of my customers. So with technology today, we could basically still keep this going without having to see each other.
Right. Obviously it's better to see the property in person. And sure. I know I would if
sure.
I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I would want to see the house first. And also, I would probably, depending upon how many, if I'm in a multiple offer situation or something where I have to beat out other offers, it might be different, but I'm still going to probably want a home inspection and things like that. But you can send a home inspector and not go and just look at the home inspector's report afterwards.
Yeah.
Again, just another way of doing it. And to kind of narrow the scope down even more. I know we talked about the stats in all of Virginia, but Northern Virginia in particular, we still have a lot of people around here that have government jobs, contractors and that sort of thing, that they're still working. They've seen really, aside from their day-to-day lives, their work lives, they might be working from home, but they still have job security and things like that, which has always kept our area a little bit more protected.
Yeah.
Other areas in the country and Virginia as well. So I don't think, I don't know. Again, we have our disclaimers, but in terms of, sorry, there's a phone ringing in the background here. But in terms of, like disclaimers and where we're getting our information. These are just our opinions. But, you know, I feel like it's not going to be a housing crisis or anything like last time. And I talked about this earlier too. We feel like it'll probably be like a blip.
That's what I'm hoping.
The housing crisis before was because of bad loans and overpriced market values. That's not the case anymore. The loans are good, and the house values went up gradually, like they're supposed to.
Right.
You know, there might be a dip in values because of uncertainty, but they'll go back up.
Yeah, I think too.
Yeah.
And depending on who's affected and what this forbearance does and how people react to it when it's over. So if people are hit with these lump sum payments and they can't make those payments, there's a little concern about going into foreclosure. You worry about that, but hopefully if people can, you know, get the knowledge that's out there and really understand what they're doing, maybe they can get around that in a way to where, because once foreclosures hit, that's where our property values drop, and that's where the economy starts to tank a little bit. And I think if we can avoid that, then we're going to be in a good position, because really a lot of the market is based off of basically housing. It runs everything, new construction, all of it. I mean, it gives everybody jobs. So,
saying, you know, people that are losing their jobs, because there are some that are losing their jobs, and it's really important that there may be an influx of short sales that come through where they can't make their mortgage payment anymore. They can no longer afford the house. You know, even me, I need to hire someone because we're so crazy busy, but I'm worried what's going to happen in 2 months, so I don't want to hire anyone, you know.
Right.
A lot of businesses are probably going through that same thing, you know.
Yeah. Yep.
Leslie, I was wondering, what are you seeing as far as like supply and demand? Is there still that pent up demand that we were seeing a couple weeks ago before all this started?
I'm telling you, even I think it was about a week ago. I had somebody that was running around that had written offers on 3 houses out in Percival.
Wow.
You know, and it's one thing if I was saying Arlington, but Percival's, you know, it's still, you know, part of the DC metro area, but it's further out, probably. I think it's further than we are, I think, out west or around the same west of DC. So, I mean, again, I just think that it's almost like there's just the inventory is so low that it's still not a bad time to sell.
Yeah.
And I've got people that are still calling me about putting their house on the market. I've got a couple listings that are coming up. So, I mean, I'm not going to lie, I've slowed down, but I'm not, you know, twiddling my thumbs.
Yeah. And I still have pre-qualifications out there, people looking. And I mean, I've gotten a couple ratified contracts where they've found something and they're writing contracts now. I don't know how they're looking at the houses or what I'm sure they're being safe, but it's still happening. I mean,
right. And when Marty brought up the short sales, that's something that Vicky and I had talked about that as well. Because I used to do a lot of helping out with short sales, like after the kind of the foreclosing kind of got tapered off basically the government didn't want to foreclose. They'd prefer to do the short sales. So there was all that went on. So we were talking about that too. So if there's anybody that feels like they're in that situation, you know, feel free to reach out or anything like that. And one of us could try to help you figure out kind of like the best route to go. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Well, yeah. So I guess, did anybody else have any quick topics or anything that they wanted to bring up? Or
well, I just wanted to mention from the closing side of things, you know, the title companies are really, you know, 3 weeks out, we decided we were going to get prepared and figure out how to do this because we had so much business. We wanted to make sure we were accommodating to everybody, and we're able to close out our pipeline. So we're offering, you know, virtual closings, e-signings. You know, some people fled the area when all this happened to go be with family in like the mountains of Alabama, you know, and we're able to accommodate closings for them there. So
And curbside closings.
and
Yeah.
we can do outside your door on the.
I had my last one was like that. That's why I laughed. My last one we closed. We did our final walkthrough and we went out and signed on the back of the car.
Yeah.
I've had a couple of clients this week, same thing, curbside signing, and everything's going through. So
Yeah.
But
I mean, as long as they witness and sign, and we're all wearing gloves or bringing Clorox wipes,
right.
then we're safe.
Yeah.
So that's what's most important. I want everyone to be safe, including
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I think this is cool. If people like this, hi Robert, thanks for tuning in. So if this is something that people find informative, jump on, let us know. If you have any other questions or anything like that, we can certainly schedule other lives to update, as we go on through this. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. Thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate you jumping on.
Thank you for inviting us.
It's super informative. Yeah, it's super informative, and I think people that really want to know what's going on, and we've all been in the industry for probably 20 plus years each. So it's what we've seen happen, and now this is going on. This is a first. I've never been through anything like this, but I went through the housing crisis in 2009, I guess. And this is definitely a learning curve, but I think most of us have it down, and we'll just keep pushing forward. And if anybody has any questions, contact us, or like you said, mention maybe if you wanted updates, we can do this again next week or whenever.
Yeah, because another great thing is it's just a scary time in general, and I feel like the information that we shared today, it's
positive
sense, but it's still not. It's still positive.
Yeah.
Well, and there are people like us, in the world that can help you. If you're uncertain about things, or you're worried about something, or you have a specific circumstance, we can help you. We're very knowledgeable and creative about how to help you. That's what we do.
Yes, that's what we do. We make things happen.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
I'll take no for an answer.
All right, ladies. Well, thank you so much again for being on here. Thanks everybody for tuning in.
Thank you.
And I will see you guys later. I'll catch up with you guys and see if we want to do another one of these.
All right. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
All right. Have a great
Bye.
day, everybody.
You too.
Bye.